power? Who has the power? We have the power to make change today.
Amplify is a funder collaborative and a learning community born out of Neighborhood Funders Group's Democratizing Development program. It's the first fund housed at NFG, and we believe that those closest to the problem are really the best at creating the solutions. At Amplify, we recognize that white supremacy, racism, and power really have always fundamentally shaped the arc of development in communities. And so we work with organizations that are really focused in their work on bringing critical perspectives around race, gender, and economic justice issues.
Living in the inner city my entire life, I realized that the social ills that I saw happening in my community were happening because people who were making the decisions did not necessarily reflect our community. So we realized that we needed to build power, not just from a state or local or federal government level, but from the communities that were directly being impacted by some of those policies.
Build power with us. Building power with us is sharing your story. Can start with sharing your story, and we really need all of y'all to really get to this issue so that we can fight to change these policies.
Despite the history of segregation, sabotage, institutional racism, West Las Vegas still thrives, and I would argue is the heartbeat of Nevada's Black community.
I know that if I was a man, that I'd have all the money that I needed when I put my vision down on a piece of paper and presented it to people. And if I wasn't a Black woman, the level of disrespect I'm asked to tolerate would not happen.
While there are themes that cut across some of our places, like just recovery from climate disaster and Black land ownership, housing and displacement, and economic justice, equitable development really looks different depending on where you are and which communities you're working with. As the senior program officer, I really spend a lot of time, speaking with powerful leaders across the country who are working on issues related to development and building power in their communities. They're really, truth tellers. They are working in their respective places to challenge harmful policies and politics and really, fighting with their communities and their bases for just and equitable development.
Hemos estado trabajando ahí en los últimos 5 años y en los últimos años, ¿verdad? Ciertamente después del huracán, con una propuesta de abogacía, una propuesta de que la gente tiene la capacidad de exigir cambios en los procesos que los mantienen sin poder ante el Estado de Derecho.
So what we're trying to do is outline all of the rights that tenants currently have and add real enforcement mechanisms and add a whole slate of new rights for tenants.
To fight for our city.
Yeah. Whoa.
It is time to do the right thing, and closing the workhouse is the right thing, and it's time to close it now.
really envision reality in which Black, Indigenous, and people of color are the ones making decisions about places where they live. This reality includes investment in community infrastructure, specifically investment in Black people, Black futures, and Black communities.
It's enough of us here to bring the spiritual energy. It's enough of us here to move mountains.
Thank you.